most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi folks, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
And I'm Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course,
I was
Bob.
just looking over to see if you agree with me, Brad.
Well, of course, I would. Let's carry on, Bob.
All right, today we're going to talk about 10 stroke exercises for foot drop. This is really actually good for someone that has really a weak ankle and foot, really very little movement, because we're going to show you from the start what to try, and then move on to more advanced stuff as hopefully as things improve.
Right, and if your foot drop is not from a stroke, these are still
right. These are all still
effective.
applicable. So, all right, Brad. Why don't we first start off with you want to make sure the calf muscle is going to be stretched out, because if it's tight, it's going to make you're going to be fighting against that.
Right,
so, do you want to show a stretch?
Sure.
Well, we got a big mess here, don't we?
Yeah, we're going to use all this.
Yeah.
All these handy items here. Okay.
Well, you're going to stretch me or going to?
Yeah.
I'll take this off first.
If it's to the point where the person, the whole side is involved, they're not able to do a self-stretch and you need to do it, have someone else stretch. Why don't you scooch down this way a little bit, Bob? And you're going to help stretch the other person. Take your hand like this. This part right here, you're going to put right there in the ankle, top part of the ankle. Grab around the heel, the calcaneus, and your forearm goes against the outside right below the pinky toe, if you will, the 5th digit, and stretch like this, because if they've got a lot of tone in here, this will not go easy.
Right.
And this gives you a lot of
leverage,
and you don't have to hurt your back, so I'm stretching with my body and not doing this. Oops, get that tie out of the way. This works, but it's a lot easier to do this, and you can sustain a stretch. And Bob will let you know that I'm getting a fair amount of pressure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you can do it yourself, too, with a belt.
Sure.
And I'm going to assume you maybe don't have much arm strength. You can just loop it around the foot like this and put it around the forefoot.
Yeah. That's the thing, to get it in the right location so you get leverage.
And then you'd put it like this, and you can give yourself a stretch. You can do it with a sheet, too.
Right,
Just pull yourself. So,
oops.
I also
just the cane.
What's that? Oh, the cane would work out really good. Yeah,
yes.
Sure. Just pull like that.
Yep, I like to use that with a lot of patients.
Oh, nice.
And it's not so floppy as the belt.
Now, I'd also like to see you maybe even do like a hip abductor stretch like this.
Sure.
Because these muscles tend to be tight on someone who's had a stroke.
Right.
And the more you have tone in your leg, the more it's going to affect the foot, believe it or not.
Right.
So,
and if you're not familiar with the word tone, it just means the muscle's tight.
They're working on their own accord, really, without your
right.
input.
The muscles are working all by themselves, and you cannot control it because of the injury to the brain.
You can even stretch this way too.
Sure.
Ben.
Yep.
So, all right, let's go back. Now let's go to the first crux of the.
Oh yeah, Bob's got a nice little device here.
So I just I had a sock and I taped a straw on there and I put a little bell on the end.
Sure.
Because initially, again, you may have no movement whatsoever, and so what you can do with this, I'll go up here, Brad.
Sure.
And because you visually want to be able to see it, and maybe you prop yourself up, or maybe you do just put it on the floor. But you're just going to see if you can get some movement at all. And with the straw, you can see it. And if you get to the point, you can actually hear it too, the bell.
And remember, if you had a stroke, a lot of times your vision and all your sensory areas they're compromised. Any little thing to show progress is going to be helpful.
Yep, and I'd like to see you doing this. I mean, you could do hundreds and even a couple of hundreds of these.
If you get it to move, get those muscles to wake up.
I mean, you've got to. And if it doesn't work with the leg straight, if you could maybe even bend the leg a little bit, put a pillow under there.
Sure.
And go like this.
Yep. Even a little bolster.
Sure.
Like that, so you get to rest.
That again breaks up the tone, which makes it sometimes easier to move at the foot. So.
And I imagine they could go right to left.
They can try doing this too. Absolutely. Any movement you can get is going to be a plus.
Right.
To start off with.
Sure.
All right. The next thing is going to be the wobble board, Brad. Do you want to do that one?
Yep.
And Lonnie can pan on down.
So a wobble board is something they have in a lot of therapy departments. But it's a wobble board because there's a ball on the bottom and a board here, and it wobbles. If you're going to go on a hard surface, it's nice to put some shelf liner or some Dyson on the floor. Otherwise, it slips all over. You want to have a good grip on there. You can start with 2 feet, and the good leg is going to help the weak one. And you're just going to wobble it, oops, forward and backwards. So the backwards is the important thing because foot drop means the toe is going to drop down. So if we help it go up with the other leg, you get that motion started. After you do this, you might do it for 2 to 3 minutes, a few times a day. After a few days, with luck, you can start doing it with
you could also do
just
your
the
whole
weak
program,
one.
Brad, your side to side and your circles.
Oh, sure, right.
Oh.
I was just focused on dorsiflexion
Sure.
for now. But Bob was saying, you work this way and you can work circles just to get that ankle moving in all
Yeah.
the planes, which is a good idea. Good point, Bob.
But you're right, as soon as possible, Brad, you want to go down to the 1 foot.
Right.
I mean, that's because the studies have shown that while the other foot helps, it does not, I mean, doesn't hurt things, it doesn't really help.
Sure.
It doesn't help recover the
Yeah,
the
you want to
neural
get that
pathways.
foot independent as soon as you
You
can.
want to be able to see it. So another one, this is another Brad invention with the cane. You go ahead and take your cane if you have one, and you're going to hook the foot like this and pull it up. And then I want you to try to hold the foot right there and then slowly lower it down.
Yeah, why don't you do that on a profile so they get a
Sure.
better sense of that motion, Bob?
Probably should have done this with a white sock. Let me go ahead and just pull my sock off.
Ooh, Bob, is everything clean?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Okay,
So,
pull ahead.
So I'm pulling it this way, and then I'm going to slowly let go and let it see if I can hold it and stop it from falling down.
Right. So
I mean, if you have no strength at all, what's going to happen is you're going to go like this, and it's going to just drop.
Yep, just flop.
So you're going to start by pulling it, and then see if you can slowly let go, and it's eccentric strengthening is what we're
Right,
trying to do
yep.
here. So. The other one you can do, actually, again, Lonnie, if you go down to the floor, you could actually put a cardboard down, Brad, and make a little clock here.
Oh, sure.
And you're trying to move the foot to from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock.
Right.
Again, a visual thing that you can do.
Right. That exactly. Maybe we should just draw on the floor. No.
And you can go the other direction too. You go.
Oh, yeah.
You go
Yep.
12 o'clock to 11 o'clock.
Right. If you're lucky, you may have a floor that has a pattern on it where you can just visually use
go for
marks on the floor.
So.
Some tile floors are like that.
All right, as we advance on, Brad, here, hopefully you can get to the point where you can get to a countertop and hold on to the back of a countertop. And you're going to start bringing the foot out like this, and you're going to try to, as you bring it out, try to lift it up and bend it out to the eversion.
Now, this is something that's hard to see because there isn't a lot of range in the ankle in this direction. But go out. Bob is actually, can you relax your foot, Bob?
Sure.
He's going out this way with his foot this direction, so he's getting some motion, and that's called eversion.
Yeah, I'm turning the ankle out.
And that little bit, you get those muscles fired up, and it's going to help the dorsiflexion, the foot drop as well.
Right, exactly. All right, again, moving on. Now we're assuming that you're starting to get a little more strength. Now what you may do is, I hold on to the back of this chair, Brad.
Sure.
And you can do this with a shoe on or a shoe off, but you're going to start just trying to balance on that one leg now.
Get some weight through it.
Yeah, get some weight through it and see if you can make it work a little bit. So you can even let go here.
Right. You may want to start with a cane.
There we go. Even a cane and the countertop on the other side.
Yep.
And you can try this on your good foot first.
Right.
And you can see it takes a little bit of work, but that'll start working the eversion and inversion and working in all different directions.
If you happen to have quad weakness, you got to be careful because if your knee bends and your quad gives out, it could cause a fall. So just, you may want to have someone holding on to you if that's a problem.
Now very good point, Brad. Now if you're starting to get to the point where you want to walk and maybe you had an AFO, ankle foot orthosis, the step down from that is just to get an air cast. And what this does is it supports the ankle and stops it from turning in or out.
Right.
So you won't sprain your ankle. Right. But you still can work on going up and down like this.
Right.
It won't hold it up for you.
Right.
So if I slip this on.
That is a big concern with people that have drop foot or after a stroke when you don't have good ankle strength is that they'll just sprain their ankle because it'll invert in, roll in.
So if I tighten this up real tight, Brad, it'll stop me from turning this way or this way.
Right.
But I still can go up and down like this.
Right.
So that you can start walking with this and work on trying to bring that toe up while you're walking.
Yeah.
You got all that, Lonnie?
You got his foot? So Go ahead, stop right there. When you're in this phase of the gait, you're really focusing mentally on pulling that toes up and getting this gap in here.
Yeah. So yeah, in what Brad just said, when you're walking, yeah, this is where we are going to allow you to look down even and see if you can pull that toe up every time you come through.
Yep.
And you don't have to worry then about spraining your ankle.
Right.
So, and if you can't, if you can't bring the toe up at all, you're going to do this thing where you lift up the hip higher than you should and
compensate
so, yeah.
that way. Mm-hmm.
All right. Again, moving on, let's say now you're to the point where you can actually do some strengthening. You can take some, well, we have exercise tubing or TheraBand, and you just wrap it around the ankle like this, and you can work on turning it in like this.
Sure.
And you can work on turning it out.
This is one where it's nice to have a partner. I'll hold on to it, Bob, because it's just easier to get a better angle.
And then you can even do this. Oh, sorry, Brad. Jeez.
This really works better with a shoe on because it kind of grips to the...
I was just going to show how you can do, you could even do ankle dorsiflexion by, if you went around both. Mm-hmm. If I stood on this and I went like this, now I can work going up.
If you've got athletic or tennis shoes or whatever, they work a lot better with TheraBand because the TheraBand grips to the sole a lot better. So that wasn't a very good demonstration. Right.
The last thing, Brad, is what we start having people work on is doing what we call side steps, because the ankle's having to work while you're doing this. It's having to turn in and out and walking backwards.
Yeah. And then you're walking ankle strength, balance,
and
then you're putting it all together.
And while you do that, you may want to have somebody with a belt on, holding onto your belt to give you some safety.
Yeah, because especially going backwards, the risk for fall is high. So you got someone bigger than you, hopefully, is going to hold you in case you need a little help.
All right. Thanks, folks. Thanks for watching.